That's a big log. I think we're gonna need to carve it down a little bit. Ooh, a spider.
What's in that pile? To get this big old log to actually fit on the lathe, I first need to cut some hunks off with a chainsaw. Now, this log has been on the pile for a few months, but its origins came from, well,
a wild street pile.
And that makes this kind of a piece of mystery wood. There was some flowering pear, some willow, some linden in there, so follow along while we find out what's hiding inside this piece of wood.
Okay, this is easily going to be the largest thing I've ever turned on this lathe. No idea how it's gonna go. Oh, come on. Oh. Yikes, yikes, yikes. This is gonna be scary. I think it's staying on. Now begins the slow process of turning this uneven honker into a nice round cylinder. Come watch.
All right, biggest piece of wood ever on the lathe for me, and the moment I dragged that log off the street, I thought it'd make for a pretty cool lamp. You see, if you've followed my content for a while, you probably know that I really enjoy taking beat up old logs from as many different species of trees as possible and turning them into simple vases that just, look nice on a shelf and really show off the natural grain and color of all these different types of trees. And a lot of you have suggested for years now that I take that basic vase shape and make it into something like a lamp. And well, a really big log like this one felt like the perfect option for that project.
So this was unexpected, but not fully unexpected. We've got a pretty sizable bit of rot here. It looks like it extends probably down to this hole and maybe up into here. Definitely not all the way to the end because I'm not seeing it come out of this end. And you know what? That's fine. To me, that is fine. One thing that is causing a bit of a problem though is the wood is weighted unevenly. As you can see when I do this, it always comes to a rest this side up, this side with the rotted hole down. You would think that the side with the hole is the lighter side, but this is just much denser wood all around it. And then this half, it's got a lot more white rot in it. It's just a lot softer, less dense wood there. So this will happen sometimes when you work with less than perfect pieces of wood, is it's not weighted evenly. That does add an additional challenge here in that even with this pretty stout lathe that I have, once I turn the speed up, get a lot of dancing of the lathe. So gonna just have to keep turning this on a lower speed until we get it to a smaller size. Only question I have left right now is which half do I want to be the bottom and which half do I want to be on the top. I'm leaning toward this being the top. It just feels like this draws naturally up that way, and it feels like it might look a little strange coming up. Yeah, the slow, oh, butterfly. This slow turning speed is a bit of a nuisance, but let's jump back on it. Woohoo! Big ol' honker. We've got it down to a round shape.
Yeah, this was far from the easiest piece of wood I've ever had to work with. Having to turn it on such a slow speed meant that all the soft wood in this piece, the grain was much more likely to tear out than cleanly cut. But there's a reason I prefer to work with pieces of trash wood from the side of the road or deadfall scrounged off a mountainside. It's harder to work and you're much more limited in what you can actually make with it, but the whole reason I got into making stuff out of wood in the first place was just to see how cool different kinds of wood can look. I mean, the first things I ever made were just planks from different species of trees so I could see what the wood looked like. And I'm still honestly more motivated by that than making super intricate or complex stuff that might require a more stable species of wood. But that's just me. I mean, case in point, this big rotted out section right here, I think it's going to really make the final product all the more interesting. And now that it's all shaped and sanded and kind of cleaned out, it's time to drill a hole, this time all the way through the middle of the log. So I'm just going to get as deep as I can through the top half, then part the piece off, clean up the bottom, and after finding the center, drill through the bottom half until we've got a hole going all the way through. Now, before we get to some light assembly work, let's watch this mystery wood come alive by adding an oil wax finish. And I mean, yeah, look at this wood really start to pop and sing. This is just always the best part. Let's not forget to give the cave a little brushy brush with some oil as well. Now it's time to lampify this thing, starting by installing some little rubber feet.
Ha! Look at that. So now all we have left to do is install the lamp kit. First thing first, we got to figure out how to, I've got the wiring that goes down to the plug. So we need to feed this up through here. I have drilled all the way through, but like this was really gnarly wood. This was far from a clean drilling. So I'm thinking if I tape this up like so, and then we just shove this rod through here, and it should come through. Haha. Now you just tear the tape off, preserve this, back out, and look at that. We've got ourselves a pair of wires. One of the challenges I definitely have here is this hole is too large for the assembly. There's also obviously not an additional threaded piece. I got a washer, lock this washer on. Sorry, there's literally a forklift driving past my house right now. So it's, as always, I seem to live on the loudest street in North America. And voila, there we have it. Run our cord up through here, and then I think I see that. Goes back, goes forward. Haha, okay, I got that. Okay. All that's left to do is put this on, but before I do that, I want to hot glue this down, just to keep it stationary. So let me grab a hot glue gun. This feels like a very non-permanent solution. The ideal solution would be to find a much longer threaded pole that we could then bolt at the bottom and the top, but for now, this will do. All right, let's throw a shade on it. Lamp. Let's take it inside, throw a bulb in there, and see how it works.
For a first attempt, I'm pretty happy with this. I know the lampshade needs to be bigger. I was just in a hurry to get this video done and grab the first one I could find, but the wood itself, I mean, just look at this. All that spalting, this little bridged hole right there, and of course, plenty of lamp chatoyancy. And yeah, I really love this rotted hole section. Now, I got a lot of comments on the short form version of this project saying that I should have added some LEDs to it, but I don't know, that just doesn't really feel like my personal style, but hey, maybe I'll try it in another piece another time. For now, let's turn off all those overheads and enjoy lamp season together until we see each other next time when we find out what's in that pile.